Hi, this is Kim Watson of Easy Trader. Welcome to a weekly review. For the change this week, I just thought I'd look at a question that was posed somewhere. I've just read it and I can't remember where I read it, but I was looking and I was thinking, well, that would make a good subject. And then I forgot about it for about a week or two, and then I just remembered it and I thought I'll cover it. So here we go. Do indicators really work when trading? Now, I've had this argument, or I've seen this argument posed for many years with different people. Does everyone use indicators? Do they use moving averages? Do they use Bollinger Bands? What do they use? And the question has been posed many times. Of course, the biggest indicator and the best indicator out there is price itself. It tells you probably more than anything else, or it certainly tells you more than anything else on the chart, and should never be overlooked in terms of what is it actually doing. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it chopping a sideward pattern such as back here? What exactly is it doing? Is it just dropping like here, very fast, moving in a certain direction? A lot of things it'll actually tell you and give you the guidance. Used price with indicators, if people just look at the indicator and ignore the price action, they generally won't have such good success. If they're looking at the price action and the indicator and building things together, putting the case together, then suddenly they'll find that there's success. Now, there is a good case for, well, fundamental analysis is great, and it's probably better than looking at technical analysis over the longer term view. Possibly is. If we go back to, if we look at a daily chart actually for a moment, or maybe it needs to be a weekly chart now. I'll just pop this onto a weekly chart. There we go. And this big movement here, which caused the fantastic down, I can pinpoint it to Draghi speaking. He spoke, it fell. As simple as that. Were there technical indicators and were there things to get us into a trade to take advantage of this move? Yes, very simple. This is a weekly chart. This is nothing designed specially for any odd days or anything like this. Straightforward weekly chart. There's a 21 or 20. Let's have a look. What is it? 21 moving average. 21. Why 21? It's a Fibonacci number. Does it matter? No, it could be a 20. It really makes relatively little difference as long as you're using it and you're using it in a particular way. Could I take an advantage of Draghi's speech here using technical indicators combined with price? Of course I could, and that's what you should be looking at. Where could I have sold? Well, yes, the fundamentals were weak from this point here. From this week here, the fundamentals became weak. He told us they were weak, and he made changes and discussed changes. Actually, he didn't make changes on that specific date, but told he would be changes coming ahead, I believe. So from that point here, could we have made money using a technical indicator? Well, this is a 21 moving exponential moving average, straightforward, nothing else. What happened? Price broke through the 21, suggesting there was some weakness. Bearing in mind, if you look previously, price had largely, apart from these sort of areas of chop here, largely remained above the 21, relatively bullish. It's not the best necessarily trend following indicator to be looking at, but it's pretty good. And then price fell through that indicator again, but it didn't just fall through, it stayed through. Largely on some of these occasions, yes, it came through, retested, came away again, ran through. Here it did that. It came through, left a bit of a gap between itself and the moving average, and come up and tested. Could you have sold there? Yes. Would you have made money? Well, the answer's up to you there, but you should have. It moved a massive amount. Did we all trade this and hold it all this time? Guarantee you no, because we tend to trade for short periods. In a lot of cases, were there some banks, were there some people that would have held this and run through? Sure there are people that shorted near the top, at the top, before the top, probably even back here they shorted and held on all the way through there. Doesn't matter. The important thing here is there was fundamental news that came out. There was a price action that sort of occurred in the weeks following that. It rallied back into a key moving average here, and it rolled over. So there's an example. Looking at the same moving average, not doing anything apart from looking at the price action. Let's just double click here, move this up to current, and just look at this 60-minute time frame. Same sort of principles. What's happening with this moving average? Can I draw anything from it? Market starting to break down at this point here. it's confirmed a lower high as it breaks through it, so it's starting to look weak. It's broken through the 21, the Ali 21. It's come up and tested it. First test. Could I have sold at this point? Yes. Are there other indicators that might have got me a better price? Possibly. If I'd sold at this point with some good money management, I could have made some reasonably good gains. Okay, let's put it to the test and follow it through. Weakness. Weakness turns to a change of direction. Look what the price is doing. It's put a higher low in, so it's changing in direction. It's popped another one in there. Broke through, come back, tested the 21 moving average. Did it work? Well, yes, I could have made money out of this. Quite simple. Change, running through again. What's happening here? There's a few little higher lows, etc. And nothing that I can really do too much with at this point here, possibly. And then price breaks down, it really sells off quickly. Could I have been in that from using this particular process? Probably not. It didn't give me a setup from this particular process. But it did give me a setup back here. Hadn't crossed, it had come down, crossed through. First test. Was the market in a downward trend? Yep. And was it making lower highs, lower lows? Sure. Okay. Reasonable chance. Short. Bang. Then you get into this chop zone. Price is striding it for most of this time. Can I trade the same process there? No, because it's not given any gap. Here it went through, ran through a little bit, sold off, didn't sell off massively, but there was other technical analysis that may have said, well, actually there's a previous low there, it may find support, just as we've seen in these points here, may find support. So do technical indicators work? Of course they do. Do they work all the time? Of course they don't, because otherwise they wouldn't work. There'd be reasons for people to stop them working. So I rest my case in terms of, yes, technical indicators work. Are they a self-fulfilling prophecy? I'm sure they are. There'll be a lot of people looking at a 20, 21. Does this matter if it's a 20 or 21 moving average that's sitting here? Well, if I change it to a 20, there we go. If I make it a 21, there we go. 20, as I move it up towards a 28 moving average, whatever it may be. 30 moving average, in a lot of sense it makes a little difference. Similar people, okay, some people may have missed one trade, may have got another trade with less drawdown. It's all about having a good technical indicator, a good understanding of looking at the price action, because that's always the king. What the price action is doing, is it breaking down, is it weakening, are there chances of getting in on the trend of the price action? So, and yes, fundamentals will overrule them at times. We saw this morning some price action on the pound dollar with the reports here. Well, there was never really they'd already done the first touch of the 21 moving average on here on an hourly point of view. So was it in a downward trend? Yeah, it was at that point. There was money to be made if you was looking at trading between, I don't know, 12 and 4 o'clock this morning. However, off it ran and is back against there. Would I have been selling into it? Well, it's already tested, so the answer is no. In that, using my rules there of one touch, first touch only, is broken through. Whatever happened on, I'm sure there was a lot of moving averages sitting on the smaller time frames that it just trolleyed right the way through. Did we know news was out? Yes. So you can actually use this to gather your and ensure you're not trying to get in the way of either way some fundamental news. They're both important. They both should be respected. Of course, it's important to understand the fundamental news that's coming out, just as it's easy. It should be understanding how the moving averages are working and how you can trade them. Okay, that's it for me. Hopefully you'll find this useful. I'm very much interested in your views. If you want to post them, post them. But the important thing is, the most important thing is, can you make money doing so? Yes, as long as you've got good money management and looking at working with the price, I would suggest mostly, as opposed to trying to trade against the price. Okay, that ends my sermon. Let's have a quick look at the markets and where we are sitting at the moment, using some good old technical analysis and get a bit of a picture. We'll start off with the euro dollar first. Now, just looking at it from a daily perspective, loads of moving averages on that have already been tested, many of these before. It does look at last that the euro this afternoon is pushing up a little bit further. We could get a break of this 21 that's running across here, and we could see it pushing. If it does do that, we'll start seeing these previous highs challenged at the moment, I'm really watching for those. I need that area for me to be daily bullish on looking at the euro dollar. I'd love to see those highs taken out and a move above there. At the moment, with the news and the situation, and it comes back to looking at technical analysis and then considering fundamental analysis, which is important as well. If the Greek situation is sorted out, I think we would see these highs taken out quite easily and a decent relief rally. It may continue in a long term. I remain bullish, but it may continue in the bearish situation in the longer term. But we've sat here with lots of negativity, and it's sat here and it hasn't really continued to make new lows. Each morning when I look at the review, I've been saying if it breaks this trend line here, I'm looking to go short with the target of those prior lows, and I would still look at that situation at this juncture. But if it does get up here, break these highs here, and we get some sort of solution, well, we could be on for a bigger retracement. Looking at the pound dollar, similar situation to a sense. It's been sitting here chopping away, managed to break, and today so far we're breaking above that 50 MA. It's hanging around there. It's the daily 50. I'm trying to think, it is the first time, just checking, first time it's been hit. May get a bit of a retrace off there. There was fundamental news that pushed us up prior to then and gave us the kickstart to get that moving, and we could see a follow through of the effect of that fundamental news. Technically, we put higher lows in, higher high. Effectively, it's just been reached there. If we can close above these prior days lows here, highs here, I would be looking and have to then be looking towards the bullish side more. But cable has, without doubt, been the stronger of the currencies over the last few days, in a sense, or the European currencies, should I say. Dollar yen is showing some weakness again. It's been sitting, once again, we've had this sort of long period of consolidation on the dailies. It makes it very difficult to really trade too much. It has more recently effectively broken out of that retesting at the moment, but we've got some major support coming back up around the 122 area, and that will probably remain a bit of a line in the sand. So, but if it can and it does start pushing up towards there, we've already come back pretty close to these prior highs. Actually, let's just move those off there and draw a proper trend line across the top there and pop that there, and we've come within a whisker of these prior highs here. So it's sold off at the moment, and there's still the potential for some further upside. If the dollar starts weakening, before I'd be looking for the downside on this, I'd need to see a break of this trend line across the lows here. So effectively it's showing a bit more of a switch back, but that would keep, at the moment I've got to be looking towards the longer side at the moment. The retail sales this afternoon didn't come out very well, so there's a bit of retail therapy gone all a bit wrong there. Okay, Aussie dollar, weak jobs reports, etc. that are coming through again, pretty much close to the lows, the early month lows for February there. So it's sort of repeated, come back towards those, testing that sort of area. Managed to pull back at the moment. It, to me, remains a very weak currency in terms of the risk in Asia, and it's very affected by all things happening in Asia, and we could see some a continuation to the downside. Any dollar weakness, well, we still haven't hit the monthly pivot, and the break of the there's a little trend line that's running down on the shorter term. Could see me being a bit more bullish with the thought of it coming back towards that sort of area and retesting. I say retesting, coming back towards the 79.28 area. But as I say, overall trend is very much obviously down at the moment, and that could continue for now. Finally, the Canadian dollar, very linked and towards the energies, and we've seen oil gain a little bit today. The Canadian dollar has taken a bit of a backward step here. Again, I say a backward step, a positive step against the US dollars. Remembering this is US dollar CAD, so a little bit of strengthening here. We are getting in quite a consolidated phase round here, which doesn't necessarily make life easy in terms of trading, and this is the sort of thing we've seen with the European currencies of late, which if you're a trend trader and you like looking at the trends, well, it's a little bit more difficult to pick out exactly where it's going to go here. But for now, I'm really only looking for the long side potential on the Canadian dollar, but I'll stay out of it until it gives me good long signals. For now, it's got the potential come back and test that 21 again. It's been tested quite a few times. The daily 21 could come back and test that, may even break it this time. But I will only start looking on the short side if we start breaking the lows, the prior lows, the February lows, early February lows. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great one. Hope you found the update useful. Bye for now.